At 11 o'clock, it was bedtime so he could rest for the next day's challenges. But first, should he check his progress? Jinwoo looked at how far he had come. He had collected 2116 demon souls out of the needed 10,000. That's about 1,000 demons each day. Catching that many in just 2 days seemed like a lot. 10,000 was still far off. But he had high hopes for the demons with multiple souls on the higher floors. I need to push toward those higher floors. Next he checked his level. What? Jinwoo could not believe his eyes. His level had jumped all the way up to 67. Weaker monsters only gave him around 100 experience points, but stronger ones gave him 300. He was doing really well. There were plenty of monsters here, and they gave a lot of experience points. The difficulty was just right, making this place perfect for getting stronger. Not only was he getting stronger, but other things were improving too. Jinwoo was getting better with his skills. His weapon Night Killer floated in the air above his hand, because of his ability called Ruler's Hand, which allowed him to move things without touching them. Even when resting, Jinwoo took time to practice. Since Ruler's Hand didn't use mana, he focused on staying concentrated, which was a bit tiring but worth it to get better. He got a reward for his hard work. Jinwoo leaned against a wall, smiling. This made him feel calm and happy, because he had gotten a bit stronger. He closed his eyes slowly. He thought Jinwoo should have gotten his guild master's license by now. Jinwoo wondered how Jinwoo was doing. It had been a while since he worked alone, so he thought about Jinwoo following him. The older son was a successful businessman, and the younger one had a special license but was still in college. That was going to be a challenge. You can do it, Jinwoo. He fell asleep silently, cheering him on. Jinwoo walked into a nice traditional Korean restaurant, with determination in his eyes. He had chosen the place because he knew his dad liked it. Is Chairman Yo here yet? Yes, he's already arrived. Jinwoo took a deep breath. This way, please. The server led him to a private room where his father, Myung-han, was sitting. Jinwoo felt even more nervous when he saw his dad as the server slid open the door. He felt unsure for a moment, but took a deep breath and sat down across from his father. What's going on? You've never asked to meet like this before. Father, please look at this before I explain. What is? It's proof that I'm a guild leader, and records of the quests I've been part of. A guild leaders. You? Jinwoo nodded, smiling. Yes, father. Myung-han looked at the documents, and something caught his eye. He didn't say anything, which made Jinwoo's heart pound and struggle to breathe. Finally, Myung-han pushed the papers aside and kept talking. Do you want to lead the Yujin Guild? Yes, father. Myung-han looked unsure for a moment. I couldn't believe he was actually choosing between my brother and me. Jinwoo was excited. He already felt like he had won. In the past he would have been happy to have made it this far, but he wasn't going to give up today. As you already know, it's too dangerous to give that much power to someone outside the family and enough. Myung-han raised his hand. Jinwoo stopped talking right away. His father's enough was something no one in the family would question. There is someone I want to introduce you to. What? Jinwoo was confused. He had set up this meeting himself, but his father brought someone else along. Who could it be? Jinwoo wondered as his curiosity grew. The door on the far side of the room slid open. Hello. A man in his late 20s, or early 30s, said awkwardly. Jinwoo didn't recognize him. Myung-han signaled for the man to sit next to him. This is Hunter Myung-won-ko. Myung-won-ko. Jinwoo tilted his head. He had never heard that name before. His father nodded like he already knew this. He's from the White Tiger Guild. He was one of the survivors of the recent Red Gate incident. Jinwoo didn't know how to react. What did his father mean by Red Gate? Why was he talking about that? It was a big news story that Jinwoo had heard about, but he wasn't sure how it was connected to this meeting. The man was a survivor. Why would someone the reporters all wanted to talk to be here? Jinwoo was really curious. Myung-han watched him before saying anything. I guess you don't know. Huh? Myung-han ignored his confused son for a moment and turned to Myung-won, who looked nervous. Hunter Ko, he said. Yes, sir. Then Myung-won turned his attention to Jinwoo. Jinwoo happened to make eye contact with him, and it seemed like a question mark appeared above his head. Myung-won said, a young female hunter, who looked like a high school student. Young female hunter. Jinwoo had no idea whose name would come out of Myung-won's mouth next. And Jinwoo sung. Jinwoo felt like his heart dropped. B-Boss was in the Red Gate. How did that happen? His thoughts got even more confusing. Then he remembered something. Wait, now that he thought about it. Jinwoo had acted like they were friends, even though he never paid attention to her before. And the name of the young female hunter? Someone asked. It's Song Ji-han. No way. Jinyo was stunned. He had just figured out the truth behind their relationship. Does this mean the helper everyone had been talking about was? My Unwon quickly confirmed what Jinyo was thinking. Songji and all of us in White Tiger survived, because Jin Woo-sung helped us escape, he said. Jinyo laughed nervously, confused. What was the boss doing there? Jinyo felt both surprised and happy. For a second Jinyo forgot his dad was even there, and asked what happened inside the red gate. Myunwon looked at Jinyo's dad to see if it was okay, and the chairman nodded, giving him the go-ahead. Myunwon was super eager to share the story, and started talking with excitement. So what happened was Jinyo listened carefully. At first we were confused why two E-rank hunters came to watch our training. Myunwon told the story with excitement like someone showing off a new gift. Then he said an A-rank hunter. Now Myunwon wasn't the only one who was excited. Jinwoo said exactly. He opened his hand like this and smack Chul went down fast. Jinho's heart raced as he heard about what Jinwoo did. That's just like the boss. Defeating top-level magic beasts with bare hands was nothing to him, but Jinhyo didn't know. Jinwoo could defeat an A-rank hunter in one hit. He felt happy and proud to have such an amazing partner. Myun-haswan continued his story. When the Ice Elves appeared, we thought we were doomed for sure. Since everyone was listening so closely to Myun-haswan, time flew by quickly. Myunwon almost finished his long story. He got a bit too excited and loud towards the end. It was unbelievable. Jin was saved everyone there. Jinwoo nodded in agreement, not even realizing he was doing it. He understood how Myunwon felt. He had also been saved by Jinwoo. The guild told us not to tell anyone about Jinwoo, he said. I already disagreed with the guild's decision, but then Chairman Yu reached out to me, and Chairman Yu politely interrupted him at that moment. Hunter Myunwon Ko. Sir, I think that's enough. Oh, I'm sorry. I got carried away. Myunwon bowed his head in embarrassment. The chairman turned to his son again. So an unexpected name came up while I was gathering information about Hunter Jin Woo-sung. He held up his index finger, then pointed to Jinyo's name in one of the documents. Jin Woo-sung had given Jinho a list of raid missions earlier. Jin Woo's eyes scanned the page until they stopped at his own name. Strike Team Leader Jinho Yu, Team Member Jin Woo-sung. There was no way to argue with what was written there. Jin Woo felt caught. His dad had discovered that Jin Woo's helped him get his guildmaster's license. Jin Woo tensed up. Hunter Jin Woo-sung played a big part in helping you become the guildmaster, he said firmly. Do you admit that? I do. Do you have anything else to add? Jinhyo thought he was in big trouble. His dad found out that Jinwoo had helped him get his guildmaster's license. Now his father doubted if Jinhyo could truly lead the Yojin Guild. His dad gave him a serious look. Jinhyo's hands trembled as they always had when he saw that look. But he couldn't give up so easily. For the first time ever he stood up to his father. He kept his head down but spoke loudly. Can I be in charge of the Yojin Guild? Okay? Huh? Jinhyo's head jerked up in surprise at his father's unexpected answer. You can have the guild. What? Jinhyo trailed off confused. It's too risky to give such an important responsibility to someone outside our family. Why would I take that chance when I have you? But I tried to trick you. Did you really think I would punish you, and then send you away? Is that what you believed? Jinho thought his father was smiling, even though his face looked serious as always. If you had been careless and charged into dungeons without thinking, I might have done that. But I don't think I raised someone foolish. Jinho's face turned red suddenly. If it wasn't for the boss, he would have been punished and kicked out of the family. Maybe worse than that. Jinho felt better now. But there is one condition. Yes, sir. Can you bring Hunter Jin Woo-sung into the Yujin Guild? Jinho's eyes opened wide. Bring the boss? He asked. Myung-han was briefly curious. Yes, exactly. Jinho didn't know what to do. He groaned. Any kid would have known he had to show confidence in front of his dad. But the other person was the boss. Asking wouldn't be a problem, but still, so Jinho told the truth. I don't know. Of course not. No one said meeting this condition would be easy. The chairman drank some water, and then wiped his mouth with a handkerchief. If you fail, I will give the guild to your brother. Still want to try? Jinyo's face looked very determined. I've worked hard to get this far. If he gave up now, he wouldn't be able to face Jinwoo. Jinyo said, his voice filled with determination. I'll try. Good. With that, the father and son agreed. Myung-han nodded quietly as Jinhyo stood up, bowed and left. Myung-han took the handkerchief out of his mouth. He couldn't help but smile. The boy had surprisingly asked to lead the Yujin Guild. He had an idea of what Jinhyo wanted when he asked for the meeting, but was surprised by how brave his son was. Even a young tiger is still a tiger after all. A smile appeared on his face. Chairman Myung-han Yu was smiling. The serious chairman was known for never showing emotions, whether happy or sad. As Myung-han stared at the chairman in amazement, Myung-han turned and asked, "Do you have anything else to say?" Hunter Ko, surprised Myung-han quickly shook his head. No sir. 4748. 4950s. Jinwoo climbed the higher floors at an amazing speed. You have defeated a mid-rank demon. You have earned 300 experience points. You have gained 1 demon soul. You have defeated another mid-rank demon. He thought he would feel tired, but seeing his experience points and soul counter go up with each win made him forget about being exhausted. Demon souls collected 4038 out of 10,000. Still less than half. It felt like he had been fighting demons non-stop since he got here, but reaching 10,000 still seemed far away. But his level was now 69. He had leveled up twice in one day. Even though it wasn't growing as fast as before, his experience points were still rising faster than the soul counter. They kept going up even now. Kree. Jinwoo let out a breath of relief and looked around after defeating the last demon he had faced. There were many bodies lying on the ground near his soldiers who stood ready. He clapped happily for them. Well done. The tired soldiers returned to Jinwoo right away. Soldiers could collect essence stones, but only Jinwoo could gather items. He kept getting messages from the system, asking if he wanted to acquire something. This was pretty annoying. That's why Jinwoo fought alone when there weren't many demons, and with his soldiers when a lot showed up. Once the fight ended, they started collecting items. Why did Jinyo want to keep doing this job? Was it fun for him? Jinwoo laughed as he picked up an item from the dead monster. Another problem was that you couldn't gather shadows in the demon's castle. It didn't matter if the demon was strong or weak. The black smoke that showed he might be able to take something never came. No matter how long Jinwoo looked at the body. The energy is polluted. You cannot take its shadow. The only message he got was that he couldn't take a shadow, because the energy inside was bad. Well, there's nothing I can do. As Jinwoo searched the bodies while feeling let down, something popped up. Ping. You found 29 items, demon horns. Would you like to pick them all? Jinwoo cheered up. Of course. He forgot how sad he felt when he saw all the cool stuff. Nothing here is useful for me. Sell everything. After Jinwoo sold all the junk, his money went way up. Money 914, 697 2 gold. Whoa, Jinwoo checked his money by accident, and was shocked. He had over 900 million gold pieces. Well, I've killed more than 4,000 demons, and each horn is worth 200,000 gold pieces. So because he made money by selling things, he found each time the gold kept adding up. Should I buy a special sword now? He shook his head. Having a lot of gold did not mean he had to waste it. Jinwoo was sure he would need it someday. He brushed his hands off after closing the inventory. He had already cleared the area and gotten the pass needed to go to the 51st floor. Now all Jinwoo had to do was step into the elevator. But he looked at the beam of light. Something stood in front of the magic circle. It was a massive demon with smaller demons around it. Jinwoo looked up and saw the demon's name written in black letters. It read Avaricious Vulcan, Lord of the lower floors. The demon's large body seemed to weigh tons and tons. The creature held a large club that looked very intimidating. Jinwoo, however, was smiling. This must be the boss, he thought. Bosses in other dungeons had always given him good experience and nice rewards, unlike tough magic beast bosses that don't give much in return.
The monster bosses were like surprises from a gift. What kind of treasure would this one give him? Jinwoo took a deep breath and smiled. A voice said, "Shall we?" Shadow soldiers appeared and rose behind Jinwoo.
There were not just soldiers but also mage soldiers, shadow beasts, and 2 knights standing at attention. Jinwoo was in front with the two knights stepping forward to stand beside him. He looked at Igris on his right, and Iron on his left, and smiled, feeling happy and confident. It was good to know he had such reliable teammates. Even though Jinwoo was very skilled, it was still comforting to have others who could support him. However, a direct fight would be extremely risky. The main issue was the club Vulcan was carrying. I was surprised by how tall the tree was. A Vulcan looked like it could knock away all the soldiers with one swing. It's fine if they fall, but the real problem was the magic needed to heal the soldiers who fell. It was clear he would run out of mana fast if he kept healing soldiers hit by that crazy weapon. There was only one thing he could do. I will take down that big enemy myself. He let his soldiers handle the smaller enemies while he focused on Vulcan. Jinwoo knew it was the best plan. He just had to attack without getting hurt. Unlike his soldiers, he felt sure he could dodge Vulcan's moves. To do this, he first needed to split Vulcan away from its minions. Jinwoo told the mage soldiers to go first. They should use their range attacks to draw Vulcan's followers toward them, and then defeat Vulcan in a one-on-one fight. The plan was clear and simple. Now Jinwoo gave the signal and the mages threw fireballs from their hands. Vroom! Vroom! Ka-boom! The first attacks exploded near Vulcan's army. Pem! Avaricious Vulcan, Lord of the lower floors, has spotted intruders. Vulcan's guard has detected Vulcan's guard. Has detected the warnings kept coming one after another. Vulcan and his followers turned toward Jinwoo as the alerts blared. Good, Jinwoo had grabbed their attention. He used stealth to hide and sneak up for a surprise attack. Everything seemed to be going smoothly, or so he thought. Then Vulcan suddenly charged forward. Huh? What was happening? It was like watching a video on fast forward. Vulcan appeared in front of the shadow soldiers in an instant. Jinwoo could not believe his eyes. It was incredible how such a huge monster could move so quickly. Vulcan swung its massive club. Just as it was about to hit the defenseless mages, Iron jumped in just in time with his shield raised. Whoosh clang. The attack was blocked, but Iron's arms were badly hurt. Even Iron, the strongest of the shadow soldiers, couldn't handle such a powerful attack. His broken arms clattered to the ground. Iron looked surprised and worried. Not happy with how things were going. Vulcan checked his club, thinking maybe his last hit wasn't strong enough. But that thought didn't last long. The monster swung its club again. Iron and the mage soldiers behind him couldn't defend themselves and got knocked down. Seeing this, something inside Jinwoo made him act without thinking. He bit his lip angrily and jumped into the fight before he even realized what he was doing. Jinwoo was completely focused on his target. Vulcan was enormous, almost as big as a mountain. Even though Vulcan had such a huge body, its head seemed really small compared to the rest of it. Jinwoo turned in midair, and his muscles flexed as he pulled back his arm. He put all his strength into his right fist, which he held tightly. Then he became visible again. Vulcan noticed Jinwoo just a moment too late. Jinwoo's fist was about to hit Vulcan's nose when it suddenly struck with amazing speed. The punch hit Vulcan so hard that he staggered backward, unable to stop himself. He fell to the ground and rolled until he crashed into the remains of an old building. The weak structure collapsed on top of him. Jinwoo landed gracefully and looked at what had just happened in surprise. How could he have thrown Vulcan so easily? He stared at his own fist, still trying to believe what he had done. It didn't have even a tiny scratch after hitting such a big target. A thought came to him. He looked up and his stat screen appeared when he called for it. His stats were strength, 50 stamina, 1-9 agility, 13-9 intelligence, 10-9 perception, 1-11. That's right. He had skills like an assassin but worked as a mage, so he often forgot one thing. His strength was high at 150 even though he usually put most of his points into intelligence. He had been focusing a lot on building his strength lately, plus his level had gone up really fast recently. Here was what happened next. Jinwoo looked at Vulcan trapped under the rubble and started laughing. Aha! He hadn't noticed it when he fought regular monsters like low or mid-rank demons, but now after defeating that boss monster, he definitely felt it. Wow! I have gotten so much stronger. He tightened his fist, feeling excited about how powerful he had become. Then he heard that familiar sound. Ding! What is it? He looked around trying to figure out where the noise came from. Vulcan stood up using his club like a cane. Was that a warning about the monster waking up? Had the system always been this worried about him? Jinwoo quickly figured out why there was a warning. A message appeared: Avaricious Vulcan, Lord of the lower floors, has used skill rage.
Huh?
The alerts kept ringing. Vulcan will stay in a state of rage. All his abilities have increased by 50%. He will feel less pain. Before Jinwoo could even think about what had just happened with Cerberus, Vulcan charged at him with angry red eyes. The ground shook with each loud step. Thump. Jinwoo looked back over his shoulder. The battle between Vulcan's followers and his shadow soldiers was fierce behind him. Jinwoo looked for Iron in the chaos. Vulcan's strong attacks had hurt Iron badly, and he still wasn't completely healed. Iron! Jinwoo shouted. Just then Iron threw his shield to the hunter. Jinwoo caught it, but by the time he turned around Vulcan was right there. Jinwoo knew if he didn't stop Vulcan's attack, his soldiers would get hurt. He needed to protect them. Without them, defeating Vulcan and its minions would be tough, so Jinwoo decided to keep his soldiers safe.